And we start in KwaMbonambi in KwaZulu-Natal, where preparations are underway for the funeral of Ambassador Nathi Mthethwa. His body was brought back home from Paris yesterday and arrived at OR Tambo Airport in Johannesburg ahead of tomorrow's funeral. SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko is on the ground in KwaMbonambi and joins me now for an update. And Samkele, we've seen people filing in, many people who are coming to pay their tributes to the late Nathi Mthethwa. Tell me how it's looking at the moment there, who's arrived, and what are some of the sentiments and messages that have been shared in honor of the late former minister and ambassador?
Well, indeed, Chulas's messages of condolences are trickling in for the former ambassador of South Africa to France, Nathi Mthethwa, who died abroad whilst on mission. We also do know that there are a number of government and ANC leaders who have arrived at the family home. I did see Siboniso Duma, who is a part of the provincial trust team and also the leader of government business, the MEC of transport within the province of KwaZulu-Natal. He is inside as there is a meeting currently taking place in preparation for the official burial category 2 that will take place tomorrow as declared by President Ramaphosa. We also do know that there will be a delegation later on this afternoon that will go to the mortuary to go and forge the mortal remains of Nathi Mthethwa to bring them back home in preparing for that night vigil that will take place later on today. But I am going to speak to Nhlakanipo Ntombela, a member of the provincial trust team and a member of the then southern region of the ANC Youth League that worked with Nathi Mthethwa during those days, just for him to speak about the life and times of Nathi Mthethwa in their days in the ANC Youth League. Just, Mr. Ntombela, your days with Nathi Mthethwa, in the days of the ANC Youth League, particularly within the southern region, where he mostly applied his politics coming from the area of Clarota.
He has always been consistent in his role and contribution in the struggle. At that younger age, he was a leader of the then Clarota New Generation, KMG, which was a affiliate of the South African Youth Congress, SAICO. He was leading the delegation going to the first KwaNdebele Conference of SAICO in 1987, led through a process of rebuilding the youth structures across the Durban West region area, Pinetown, Clarota, Sandwendo Lanes, Claremont, Kongolose, and all those areas. He then became the first secretary of the ANC of the Durban South region, which led to a rebuilding of the ANC and the ANC Youth League across within the inner west and outer west area, moving to Umlazi and all the other locations around. So he played a significant contribution in the rebuilding of the ANC in the early 90s, up until the organizing team fit for him to be deployed at a national level at the head of organizing for the ANC Youth League, tasked with the responsibility of rebuilding Youth League across the country. Key amongst his areas of focus, more than building organization, around emphasis that for any cadre to be effective in any revolution, he or she must be endowed with political education. That is key on anything you do, because currently the ANC is undertaking a renewal process. Key among those is to ensure that the values of the cadres we are putting in place, are they imbued with the love of the people? Are they imbued with the understanding the responsibility we are facing as an organization? That as a member of the ANC, it's not about yourself, serving yourself, but serving the people. Those are the values I think most of us will remember Nyambasa with. The value of understanding international solidarity. He led the ANC League to work on the campaign of supporting the people of Swaziland, the South African Swaziland Youth Congress. He led the struggles of the ANC in support of the people of Western Sahara, Polisario Front. He was in the forefront of the Palestinian issues. So that is Nyambose, an internationalist, Nyambose, an educator, Nyambose, an organizer.
When you look at his history, particularly within the Youth League, some have referenced how he was at some point meant to be the president of the ANC Youth League. There was a conference that was taking place. There was an about turn at night. He was no longer elected or nominated by his province for the president of the ANC Youth League. And that's how Malusi Kikaba came about to be the president of the ANC Youth League. Looking at those days, when you, as the leadership of the southern region at that particular point in time, who came to the family home earlier on, reminiscing on those days, how would you say that you grew up together within the politics of the youth movement?
That was one of the qualities of Nyambos. in understanding that it's not only about yourself as an individual, it's about what the collective at that period in time deems fit and proper for the organization. He was senior than the rest of us, including the former president, Comrade Malusi Kwekaba. But when the young people met and decided that as we move forward with the ANC Youth League, we need a more younger version. We need a more younger people to be feeling welcome within this organization. There is a generation which must transcend and move to give other generation a chance. He understood and accepted that. Hence, he was elected in that National Executive Committee after that conference, and he led the national organizing. Beyond that, when the Youth League president he was a member of parliament, the Congress decided that no, the president now must be full-time in the organization as a resolution of the Congress. It was that ANC Youth League led by Malusi Kwekaba, which made a recommendation to the ANC that for the replacement of Malusi Kwekaba to that National Assembly, it must be Comrade Nyambos. So that's how we valued ourselves as individuals. That this was beyond the context of the conferences. But once the majority decide what is best for your organization, that we must accept.
When you look at where the ANC came from in eThekwini, the then southern region, after KZN was amalgamated into a province of the 3 different regions, eThekwini, you were below 50%. It was the time when the likes of John Mkhunu were still alive, was a regional chair. You ultimately went up to about 67. You were then the youth leaders of the Youth League at the time within the province, nationally. How did you go about in regaining the ground that you did not have, the same ground that you have seemingly lost today in the hegemony of the municipality of electoral politics in eThekwini municipality and the broader province of KwaZulu-Natal?
Key among other things was the groundness of the organization, that you exist with the people, amongst the people, that you exist to service the people. So that was the key element which helped the ANC then, that any branch of the ANC which if you are determined as functional, how constantly are you in touch with your communities? How constantly are you assisting in their issues? How consistently as a government of the day you are seen to be addressing the key priorities they are facing? So those were the elements which I think somehow now we are lacking on, that our structures were preoccupied with ourselves as an organization. We are more effective in convening PPGMs to elect me as a chairperson or to elect me as a councillor. We've forgotten the core reason of our existence, that we exist because of the people, not because of the 100 members who have joined you in a branch to be able to be elected to the PEC or to be elected as a councillor. So these are the issues where I think as when we are renewing the ANC, we must go back to those basics, that you know your village, understand your township, know every corner of your church. You must know their issues. You don't need to be told because there are coming elections to understand what are the issues, but most importantly, play a proactive role in assisting to turn around the situation in our areas, but also to turn around the positive mindset people have within the organization. There are many people who have not only lost hope in the organization, but they even lost hope in voting. So that's an area we must start working on. How to restore that trust deficit which is there amongst our community? How do we ensure that a younger generation of young people coming up, the majority who are voters now, they can still see ANC as a future moving forward? Because it can no longer be about historically, what the ANC did 1, 2, 3 before. Right now, people live the reality of their times. They will not know about Mandela. They will not know about Sisulu. Where's about Oliver Tambo? They'll only see their pictures wherever they are. They live the reality they are facing. They are facing unemployment. They are facing issues of poverty, the issues of crime. Those are the issues and the areas the ANC must be seen to be addressing to change the mindsets of the voters in the province and in the country as a whole.
In 5 seconds, when are you getting out of the government of provincial unity?
There is a process the ANC must undertake of engaging first and foremost with our partners in the GNU, which we have started. There is a process the ANC must undertake with its own structures, how to take that process forward, including with your national.
Has the process started?
It has started with a provincial working committee discussing the matters. There should be engagement. I would not know now in terms of that process because I've been based on this side preparing for the funeral of engaging with our partners in the GPU, And that process must lead to you engage with your national, because the agreement currently is not a provincialized one. There is a national agreement and a framework of how you cooperate and engage with other parties.
Is the GPU working for you?
It's working with its challenges.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nhlakanipho Ntombela, who is part of the provincial trust team and is also part of the ANC delegation that has been sent to prepare for the remains of Nyombose to be brought home later on this afternoon, and ultimately for him to be put in his final resting place tomorrow afternoon, following those Nazareth Baptist Church customs and traditions.
All right, that's Samkele Maseko live for us from KwaMbonambi. If there's a question to be asked, you can count on Samkele to take any opportunity that avails itself to pose that question. So critical questions, of course, towards the end there about the status of the ANC in the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal amid all these reports that you've been seeing over the last few days.